A new air arms. It's been a long time coming. Let's take a look, shall we? Hello and welcome to AAR On Air. This week is the first look at the all-new Air Arms X200 Vanguard. And it is the first time Air Arms have released a gun with a buddy bottle on board. And it's aimed at a more budget end rifle. But does it all work? Let's take a closer look, shall we? First of all, I received this from Air Arms, who asked me to take a look. The box came and inside it has the rifle, single shot tray, one magazine, a lock, silencer and what appears to be a muzzle brake of sorts. Oh, and a rather large filler probe setup. Now, sadly, there was no instruction manual or second magazine as stated on their website. Now, most blokes don't read instructions anyway. They simply get straight on with using it and work it out as they go along. Which, being a bloke, I understand. But the first thing to do is to make sure there is sufficient air on board. And there is a manometer or filler gauge on the underside, which is black on white Air Arms labelled item, reading 0 to 250 bar. But there's no colour coding or any indication as to the max fill pressure, either on the gauge or anywhere on the rifle. And whilst I could find out that it was a 350cc bottle on the website, there's no indication as to the working pressures. Hence, I suppose this review starts out with more questions than I would normally like on a review. I suppose the one thing to point out, though, is this is a demo gun. So maybe it does only come with the one magazine and they assume that you know everything about it. Anyway, gripe over. This rifle has an average length of 920mm or just over 3 foot without anything fitted to the end of that 500mm barrel. If you pop the free silencer on the end, this takes the length up to just shy of 1090mm or 43 inches. Now, the website does quote 943mm, so maybe I need to get a new tape measure. The weight, well, without a silencer or scope on board, it topped the scales at 3.52 kilograms, or around 7.7 pounds. So it's not overly heavy. It is currently only available in 177 caliber, but I'm led to believe that it's going to have a 22 caliber available in the future. The magazine is a 12-round magazine in this 177 caliber and is of a similar design to the S410 magazines of old, which I own. From the front then, the floating barrel has a 1/2-inch UNF thread which comes supplied with a thread cover if you wanted to shoot this without a silencer. It is, however, quite loud without one, and you will most likely be fitting the supplied Air Arms item or one of your own choice. Below this is that steel bottle with its larger capacity for a greater shot count, and I'm led to believe there is a cylinder conversion kit available should you prefer. Moving further back, we come to the main block, which surprisingly has a split dovetail rail fitted rather than a Picatinny weaver. The side lever is on the right hand side and it must be said is really very smooth in operation. I'm led to believe this is interchangeable from right to left for those who want to swap sides. The safety is on both sides and is forward, backward lever. Forward for fire, back for safe. As I said, it's on both sides, which is a nice touch and completely locks the trigger. That trigger, incidentally, is a 2-stage adjustable trigger, so you should be able to get that perfect individual feel. The stock is all black and is synthetic. I'm not aware of there being an option for wood, either now or in the future, but this is an all-weather stock with a UIT rail system on the bottom for any attachments you may want to add. It has stippling to the forestock and grip and is able to shoot either thumbs up or thumbs down. Again, a nice feature. There is a new Air Arms logo on the butt, and then quite the array of adjustability on that stock, including cheek riser, butt pad, extension, you name it, you've got it, which is quite nice on a budget rifle. Time to get this over the chronograph then and check out the power levels. This is a 177 caliber version and using pretty standard 8.44 grain pellets. It saw 739 feet per second, which is 10.24 foot-pounds or 13.88 joules. As always, I'm not content with that because I feel this is likely to be used more in a pest control environment. With that all-weather stock and using heavier 10.34 grains, it saw 686 feet per second, which is 10.81 foot-pounds or 14.66 joules. Arguably a little low on power, so I repeated the test several times and I will say it was consistent, but remained a little low on power. Time to get some glass on this then and get it out at 40 metres on the range. In view of this being a more budget aimed rifle, I thought I would fit the surprisingly good Hugo 4016 by 44 scope, which just happened to be already kitted out with the dovetail mounts. So, here we go. The Air Arms X200 Vanguard. That's the first bottle one they've done apparently. It is very polymer, plastic, whatever you want to say. It's very adjustable and it's thumbs up, thumbs down, quite a bolt upright grip position. It feels quite nice to use. It's not overly heavy, to be perfectly honest. It's not overly long. It is overly loud, so you're going to need that silencer on the end. Doesn't matter today. I'm just going to shoot because it's a nice morning and I'm just going to shoot as is. Rebel. And the magazine is very simple to use. It's a lot like the old S410, but maybe a little bit cheapened down. After saying that, it's also got a lock open, where the S410, certainly mine, hasn't. So, yeah, it's an improvement. I've put a Hugo scope on this because it's more aimed at the budget range, I suppose. And in all honesty, that's the one I could find that had got dovetail rails on, because most of the time now, or dovetail mounts for the rail, sorry. Most of the time now, it's Weaver, Picatinny. So it was a bit unusual, and I've either got to start messing about with more scopes or anyway. So I've stuck with this, and they're a nice scope, not overly expensive. So here we go. We're out at 40 metres on a nice day, and so far, there's no wind. So I've lost all my excuses. Let's give it a go, shall we? Nice smooth side action. And to be honest, the trigger isn't half bad. Now I'm not entirely sure whether Karl down at Vector has actually fiddled about with it a little bit, but as it stands, it's a nice little trigger. It kind of knows what I like. I think that was me. Yeah, I just pulled it slightly. I think we're predominantly seeing a bit of a pattern forming here. Ah! Spoke too soon, I'm sorry about that. That's not the gun's fault. I think I'm losing it now. Yeah. Lock open after last shot. The one thing I've got to admit to there is a lot of the time people say you've missed the ball, you missed the ball. I'm not aiming, well, I am aiming at the ball, but I've purposely zeroed the scope off bull. Because otherwise what happens is you just finish up destroying the bull and then you've got nothing to aim at. Now, I've just got blinded with that a little bit, and I was shooting, and the next thing I've done is I've aimed at the hole that I'm going through. So I've aimed off the centre, so that a couple of those are actually my fault, and I'm probably shooting too fast. The one thing I will say, quite honestly, is this is pretty accurate. This is pretty darned accurate. I've got to take my hat off to it for that, definitely. Lock open after last shot, nice feature. It is quite a smooth side lever, to be fair. They've got that one really quite nice. Yeah, quite like that. And you can decock it as well. It is decockable, so no problem there. So there you have the X200 Vanguard from Air Arms, their latest offering. Pretty accurate. Back to the studio. I must say it was quite nice to shoot and accurate. And if I had more time to make all the adjustments that are available, I feel that this could be very personalised indeed. As I said at the start, this is Air Arms' first buddy bottle air rifle and has been designed here in the UK and built in the Pressy Hole factory out in India. I can't even say it. Probably in the attempt to keep the costs down. Which brings me nicely to the price. This is apparently going to be available in 177 as a first edition limited run of 200, which will include that silencer. I'm not sure what's going to happen after that, maybe a 2.2 release. Either way, this has a retail price here in the UK of £699. And from there on, it's up to the individual to determine if that hits their budget or not. It is certainly getting competitive in that price range at the moment. I will say I've had fun shooting this X200 Vanguard, and hopefully you've enjoyed this look at the new rifle from the boys and girls at Air Arms. If you have, please give us the old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, click the alarm notification bell, and get yourself over to the AAR on their website for chat, merch, and of course, those all-important competitions. A big thank you to Air Arms for the loan of this rifle, and of course, as always, my thanks go to the guys down at Vector Air for their help too. The biggest thanks, though, as always, goes to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. Please stay safe and shoot safe, and hopefully I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.